Welcome to SVGTV News for Monday, October 11th, 2021. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. SVG on the weekend recorded 5 additional COVID-19 deaths, taking the death toll from the viral illness to 38. A news release from the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, indicated that 4 of the deaths were recorded on Friday, October 8th, and 1 on Saturday, October 9th. NEMO said a 94-year-old male who tested positive for COVID-19 on admission to the COVID ward at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital died on Friday, October 8th. Of COVID-19 pneumonia. The second patient, a 60-year-old female who tested positive for COVID-19 on September 27th, died on Friday, October 8th, while admitted to the COVID-19 ward at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. The third patient, a 34-year-old female who tested positive for COVID-19 on September 22nd, died on Friday, October 8th. The fourth patient, a 70-year-old female with pre-existing conditions who tested positive for COVID-19 on admission to the COVID-19 ward at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, died of pneumonia on Friday, October 8th. The fifth patient, a 77-year-old male who tested positive for COVID-19 on October 5th, died at home with complications of COVID-19 on October 9th. All the deceased were unvaccinated. Meanwhile, 131 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported from 658 samples processed on Tuesday, October 5th, resulting in a positivity rate of 20%. All cases are contacts of known positive cases and persons seeking care. It was also reported that there are currently 15 patients admitted for COVID-19 at the Argyle Isolation Facility. 14 are said to be unvaccinated and 1 partially vaccinated. 36 patients have also been admitted to the COVID-19 wards at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, 34 unvaccinated, 1 fully vaccinated, and 1 partially vaccinated. 161 new recoveries were noted over the reporting period. 1,286 cases are currently active, and 38 persons with COVID-19 have died. 4,096 cases of COVID-19 and 2,693 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent since March 2020. The health authorities say they establish public health interventions of detection, testing, and quarantining or isolation continue and seek to contain and suppress the current major outbreak. It was also reiterated that strict enforcement of and compliance with all protocols and recommendations are required by everyone if the current outbreak, powered by the highly contagious and deadly Delta and Gamma variants of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19, is to be contained. The health authorities further stress the importance of the correct and consistent use of masks, avoidance of crowds, physical distancing, proper hand sanitizing, and immunization with available vaccines, which they say have all been proven to significantly reduce the risk of being infected, getting sick, and or dying from the COVID-19 virus. As of yesterday, Sunday, October 10th, 800 PCR samples were awaiting processing at the molecular lab unit in Kingstown. Speaking on the backlog issue on the radio yesterday, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Simone Kaiser Beach attributed the delay in processing of the PCR samples to overworked staff and shortage of test kits for the automatic extraction equipment. The CMO, however, noted that they were able to get some kits and the work continues to process the samples in the fastest possible time.
We have been plagued by the staff, I guess, exhaustion and persons getting sick. So we have had some, even as we tried to bring in persons. But as you would know, the lab is the lab, which runs the PCR, is a highly specialized thing. So it is difficult to get and easily fit in. So we have been struggling with that too, and we are working to resolve that answer. Additionally, this has happened in the last site. There's a problem with size, and we have an automatic extractor, which would, as it says, do a process which is typically time consuming, takes about 4 hours. Not an automatic extractor. And we have been out of those kits, and it's been very difficult to get those kits because of the increased demand at this time. Well, luckily, we were able to secure some kits on Friday night, and with that and some staff learning, we should be able to deal with the backlog of samples.
Dr. Kisa Beach said that they are hoping to get the backlog cleared by tomorrow, Tuesday, October 12th, noting that the outbreak in COVID-19 cases in the country has overwhelmed the health system. She said that they are doing everything in their capacity to clear up the backlog and asked the public to be understanding.
To deal with the backlog of samples. And because of that backlog, that's why some persons would have had tests done as long ago as Tuesday. And you'll notice our press release today referred to tests done on Tuesday. We had sent some samples to CAFA to address some of that extra load, and those were also delayed in return. And so we are doing everything we can possible to take care of that backlog. But as you imagine, even as you deal with the backlog, you have new samples to take. But it is our intention to get rid of that backlog as much as possible, working as many hours through the day continuously to address that.
A decision has been made by the COVID-19 task force to make some changes to the testing strategy and issue a new order for when persons can be released from isolation. According to the Chief Medical Officer, persons who tested positive for COVID-19 can be released from isolation before 14 days once they are asymptomatic 3 days prior. This, she said, is based on a recommendation from PAHO and the WHO.
Took the decision to release somebody from isolation, so a known positive case, due to be released from isolation. The recommendation from WHO PAHO are that if you've been in isolation for 14 days and you have been asymptomatic, so no symptoms, no cough, no fever, for the last 3 days of that isolation period, you can be released from isolation without having a PCR. So anybody who has been in isolation for 14 days, we should be contacting you. If we don't get to contact you, we would ask that you contact your clinic to confirm that you could be released from isolation without having a PCR. If you are 14 days and you have had symptoms, you still need to speak with your healthcare provider.
As it regards to testing, the CMO explained that they will no longer be doing 2 tests to detect COVID-19, noting that once a person tests positive with a rapid test, a PCR test will not be done. She, however, noted that a PCR test will have to be done in contact tracing.
If somebody has symptoms, fever, cough, cold, and you do a rapid antigen test, that one that is done on the spot within 20 minutes we have a result. And once that's positive, then you are considered positive for COVID. Non-outbreak times, like, between March to September, if you had a positive antigen, we would still go ahead and do a PCR. But what the evidence is clear, if somebody during an outbreak has symptoms which are consistent with COVID, there is no need to go from a positive antigen onto a PCR. So anybody with a positive antigen with symptoms will be considered as positive, and there'll be no need for the PCR, which is what the MLU, the lab, does. Anybody who has symptoms and is not positive on an antigen will have a PCR.
According to the CMO, the isolation time for vaccinated persons who test positive for COVID and are asymptomatic is now 10 days.
What we should say is that the release for somebody who is fully vaccinated, test positive, they will be released on day 10. not their fault. Again, this is coming from the evidence, worldwide evidence, and recommendations from WHO. And the other thing is that close contact, remember close contact with somebody who has spent 15 minutes or more within 2 meters of a known positive, that's a close contact. And that person that close contact should be tested between 5 and 7 days post-contact. Which is what we are saying as extended again by CDC, UK government, WHO. It's fully vaccinated and it's a close contact. Does not need vaccine.
Meanwhile, the CMO made an appeal for volunteers who are fully vaccinated to come on board to assist with the national vaccination drive.
We are trying, we have brought on additional staff, set persons, but we would also welcome volunteers. We would welcome hired nurses, we would welcome, persons in the communities who are willing to come in and help us with the paperwork, dentists, pharmacists, vets. We are also working with some promoters and some other willing persons that we can put on after our vaccination drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing the drives, driving up to the country, and we have getting quite a bit of pickup there. Would like to be able to run like polyclinic later in the day, but as you imagine, our staff is going, as you said, have some additional support from volunteers who are really willing to come out and join in this crusade so that we can run those clinics even later than the hours we are doing now. We would really appreciate that.
Also on the radio yesterday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves revealed that another batch of the AstraZeneca vaccines, which will soon be expired, had to be donated a few days ago. The Prime Minister said the vaccines were donated to a neighboring island, which he did not name.
Just 2 days ago, we gave away 10,000 AstraZeneca to 3 different Caribbean countries. So this is from the 20,000 which we got from Canada. We have used some, and we have some remaining to do second doses. And in some cases, people want to mix and match because, you can mix the Sputnik with the AstraZeneca. They had put out that statement to Pfizer second dose to the Sputnik and so forth.
The latest donation of vaccines is a third batch to be given away as SVG continues to experience vaccine hesitancy. World Mental Health Day 2021 was observed here on Sunday, October 10th under the theme Mental Health in an Unequal World. This year's theme highlights the discrepancy to access mental health services across the different population. As part of activities held here to observe World Mental Health Day, this year the Ministry of Health used its Facebook page, SVG Health, to highlight topics related to mental health and mental illness. Speaking on mental wellness, counselor at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center said it is a positive state of mental health which must be maintained.
Means that you are able to think, feel, and act in ways that create a positive impact on your physical and social well-being. Mentally well people are positive, self-assured, and happy. They're in control of their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, which enables them to handle any hurdles or challenges that may come their way. They are able to build strong relationships and enjoy life. So you may be asking yourself, what are some ways to build mental wellness? Well, maintain a wealthy lifestyle. For example, exercising regularly for at least 30 minutes a day on most days of the week. Eat a balanced meal. Limit alcohol consumption and avoid harmful substances.
Another counselor in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Odelia Thomas, said mental illness is a health condition that affects the way people think, feel and behave.
Impacts your ability to function at home, at work, and in your other spheres of life. So, you may be wondering, what are some signs and symptoms of mental illnesses that I can look out for? Feeling down or sad consistently for 2 or more weeks. You may be confused in your thinking, you may have problems concentrating, and you may feel worried all of the time about many different things. There may be extreme mood swings of highs and lows, and you may not be able to control them. There may be significant tiredness. You feel a deep, down, bone deep tiredness that not even sleep can help you with. You may be detached from reality. You may have thoughts that persons are chasing you, they're out to get you, they're out to hurt you, and you may even have hallucination.
Thomas used the opportunity to encourage persons to seek help if they are experiencing any of the signs of mental illness, noting that help is available for everyone through the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, stressing that persons should not be afraid to seek help.
Or thoughts to hurt anybody else, please get help immediately. Go to your local district doctor or to your private doctor as soon as possible. So now that we have these symptoms, what do? I encourage you to go to your local doctor, the district doctor, or you can even come to the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center located at Glen. If you notice that somebody in your family or your friend circle are experiencing any of these symptoms, please have a conversation with them. Let them know that you are concerned and you want to help, and offer to accompany them to see the doctor.
The overall objective of World Mental Health Day is to raise awareness about mental health issues around the world and to mobilize efforts in support of mental health. The day provides an opportunity for all stakeholders working on mental health issues to talk about their work and what more needs to be done to make mental health care a reality for people worldwide. Over the weekend, a flood watch advisory was issued by the SVG Met Services. However, the advisory was discontinued today at noon. Between 3 to 4 inches of rainfall were recorded over the weekend at the various weather stations. Desiree Neverson-Jack of the SVG Met Services said another disturbance is headed our way and is expected to affect us by midweek.
3 to 4 inches of rainfall were recorded at various stations across SVG from Friday night into Monday morning. 3.5 inches of rainfall were recorded at AIA, and 3 to 4 inches were recorded at the Majorca Station, Convent, and Dalloway. Higher amounts would have taken place in mountainous areas. Now, a tropical wave with a low chance of cyclone formation is approaching the islands, with some scattered showers likely as the night progresses into Tuesday morning. Moderate showers with isolated thunderstorms are forecast from Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday. Now, presently, there isn't any weather advisory or marine advisory out. However, updates will be provided as a weather advisory may be issued on Wednesday.
And the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, is advising persons to remain vigilant as SVG is still in the hurricane season and have now entered the wettest months of the year. Over the weekend, around 4 inches of rainfall were recorded, and according to NEMO's director, Michelle Forbes, the usual landslides were reported, and persons still need to be on the alert and prepare for any eventuality.
We're having some rainfall in between, and we are now especially into the 2 wettest months of the year, and we have to now prepare, even be a bit more vigilant during this time, because we know we can have intense heavy rainfall, and that can lead to a lot of flooding on landside. So the preparation must continue all year for all hazards. So it's not about the hurricane season only too, but yet we live for 6 months of the year with the hurricane season. Now we need to really refocus every time and focus on in ways we can mitigate or reduce the hazards or the damage that can happen to us here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In this period is that we didn't have continuous rainfall. We had a good bit of rain, and it stopped, run off a little bit. We did not have the continuous rain that might have caused a bit more landslide and a bit more flooding. Have some isolated areas where you see a few landslides here or there. here and there alongside the roadside. And this is expected and can continue as we into October and November.
Forbes added that some damage to electrical appliances were also noted over the weekend.
Looking at some of the appliances may have been damaged. We need to look at the thunderstorm and the lightning, because the lightning can transfer that energy and damage your appliances within your home. So when a lot of persons tend not to unplug their appliances, we see VINLEC all the time telling you to unplug your appliances during the thunderstorm period. We can have that happening. Of course, if we have the gusty winds still, we tend to see, I think we had a few trees down along the roadside over the weekend. So we know that the gusty winds can also topple a few trees, even though it may not be up to storm force winds, or you may have some gust in between that can be almost that. So we need to still pay attention to the overhanging trees around our property along the road, and any objects that you may have that can fly around.
The NEMA director said St. Vincent and the Grenadines continues to reel from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and lahars or mud flows continues to be a problem in the volcano-affected areas in the red and orange zones.
A lot of people tend to get excited still and go along the riverbanks and wherever they see the flooding, just so they can sightsee. What is dangerous? What with the dangerous trend we have been seeing, especially above the Rabaca Bridge, is that persons still trying to bulldoze their way in their vehicles through the rushing water. But what they don't recognize is that in that debris coming down is a lot of soft material, a lot of the Rabaca stuff, soft mud mixed with little stones and so on. And when you think it's hard ground that you bring across, it is soft, and you can get stuck in the middle of a flowing river or middle of a flood.
In commemoration of the 110th anniversary of its National Day on Sunday, October 10th, SVG reaffirms its support to the government and people of Taiwan. In a virtual address shared on Facebook to commemorate the event, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves reflects on the 40 years of friendship between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Taiwan, noting that he is grateful for the continuous support that Taiwan continues to offer the government and people of SVG.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been a very steadfast friend of Taiwan. And Taiwan has been our good friend in good times and in bad times. I don't have to recite all ways in which we have helped one another. Our closeness is like family. Like family, from time to time, we have our differences, but we settle those differences in the spirit that families settle these differences. Since COVID and our volcanic eruptions in April in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Taiwan has been there with us, solid as a rock, helping us at every stage to address humanitarian concerns, health concerns, and to assist us too in rehabilitation and rebuilding. Happy anniversary, Republic of China, Taiwan.
Prime Minister Gonsalves noted that Taiwan has transformed in a short period of time from a poor, underdeveloped country to a developed one with an extremely high standard of living, and that he is hoping to see Taiwan being part of the United Nations Forum.
Distinguished in the field of advanced science and technology, and a country which has over the years pushed globally for peace, security, prosperity through the multilateral system. Unfortunately, because of big power politics, Taiwan has been unable to participate since 1971 in specialized agencies of the United Nations, and of course in the United Nations itself.
The Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Susan Duggan, also extends best wishes to Taiwan as it celebrates its 110th National Day.
Significantly, the government and people of the Republic of China, Taiwan, gave unwavering support to the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to help to surmount the challenges faced as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and the catastrophic eruptions of the La Soufrière volcano. Vincentians look forward to working closely with the people of the Republic of China, Taiwan, as our nations strive to maintain peace, economic stability, and human rights, thereby making a worthwhile contribution not only to our citizens, but to human development the world over.
Deputy Prime Minister Montgomery Daniel, SVG's ambassador to Taiwan, Her Excellency Andrea Bowman, and Taiwan's ambassador to SVG, His Excellency Peter Lan, also shared congratulatory remarks with Taiwan on its special day.
I believe that it is always a joy, a good thing, a good feeling when a country can celebrate a day of nationalism. I believe it's a day.
This year, 2021, marks 40 years of our two countries' diplomatic alliance of friendship, freedom, and prosperity. We are proud to be a part of your sparkling 110-year journey, which has, thus far, brought you well-earned international respect and acclaim. Congratulations, Taiwan.
As this year also marks the 40th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between the Republic of China, Taiwan, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are not only celebrating Taiwan's National Day, but also applauding the enduring partnership between our two countries. Thank you again, and happy birthday to Taiwan.
Taiwan's National Day, also known as the Double 10 or the Double Tent Day, is a public holiday that remembers the 1911 Wuchang uprisings, which ultimately led to the creation of the Republic of China. Each year, the presidential square in Taipei, the capital of the island nation, is lit up on this day, while large parades and rallies, displays of martial arts, folk dancing, and other cultural activities are conducted. In other news now, we hear with the recent increase at the pumps for gasoline and diesel, motor vehicle parts and other products, omnibus operators here are crying out for hardship with their business and investment. On October 1st, the omnibus operators and other motorists began paying $14 for a gallon of gasoline at the pump, with the price for low sulfur diesel at $11.20 a gallon and high sulfur diesel at $11.25 per gallon. Speaking with SVGTV News today, several omnibus operators say they are frustrated as they are struggling financially, noting that their daily income is not enough to maintain their operation and household.
Because raise the gas price and it's only 12 passengers, it makes no sense. You understand? Yeah, real pressure upon me right now. And then the police said them harassing me, you know. And we have to carry 12. You know, we can't make it like that.
Really cutting back the cost. At the daily cost we normally see plus we have to carry 12. Parts gone up. Like practically everything gone up, and financially we financially right now is a problem because everything gone up, as I say. The people, the amount of people we have to carry still at 12. We ain't getting no help from the government. Since last year they say, well, you know what I mean, we getting subsidy to carry 12. Police pressuring we. Police upon the road pressuring we. You know what I mean? It's real difficult right now. And as you could see, if you look around, you will see, well, you know what I mean, things kind of slow. You know what I mean? trust me, for minibus operators in St. Vincent right now, it's real hard. Real hard.
Especially for some of you who have family, who have loans and other bills elsewhere. Trust me, it's real hard to make it. Right now, the money we're making right now is just to pay the conductor, and if we get driver, and just to buy parts. By any week, it's like we have nothing in pocket for shopping. Nothing at all. It's real hard and real hard.
On the issue of vaccination, the omnibus operators had a lot to say.
Well, we can't look to the government for nothing. They say they're giving me something, they ain't giving me nothing, so we ain't looking to them to nothing. Immediately, if we carry one passenger extra for say 13, we're going to pay $100 fine. Ticket if police get through. Police, they will bow back steady. They ain't doing nothing for we. They say, well, let's say place have it closed and whatever, but bar loaded. They ain't doing nothing to the bar them, but they just depend on the van man in case.
It's really hard to see that, you know what I mean, minibus operators always be the one to feel the pressure, always be the one to get licks. You know what I mean? They asking minibus operators to show them vaccine card and, you know what I mean, proof of thing, you know what I mean? And when we look across the board, right, nothing is being done to the other establishment, you know what I mean? It's not fair.
Plenty of them not vaccinated. Plenty of them not vaccinated. Tell the truth. Because plenty of them not in for it, right? But what I'm saying, right? They're checking van driver and conductor, right, for tests, card, right? And almost the whole van of people, none of them have no card for the show. So why are you checking we alone? There's the passenger them there in test neither. So I don't know. It's just a one-sided thing, I'm telling you.
The omnibus operators further appeal to passengers to wear their masks properly when they get on board, noting that COVID-19 is real and everyone should do their part to protect themselves and others.
Public, you know what I mean, the virus is real, you know what I mean, so we as minibus operators just trying to urge the public, when you catch in a minibus, wear your mask, walk with your hand sanitizer when you're leaving home, and just, you know what I mean, comply. You know what I mean? That is my take to the public, you know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean, and to the rest minibus operators, I go say the fight is real. I know all of us struggling, just keep the fight. You know what I mean? The virus out there, we must pass this hurdle. And when we pass this hurdle, you know what I mean, everybody go unite and, you know what I mean.
The police here have launched an investigation into a report of arson made by a 37-year-old chauffeur of Calder against some unknown person or persons. The police say, according to their reports, the assailant or assailants, without lawful excuse, allegedly destroyed one Nissan motor vehicle valued unknown by setting it on fire at Calder on February 21st, 2021. The police are also investigating a report of burglary made by a 49-year-old pastor of Chester Cottage against some unknown person or persons. The police say the assailant or assailants entered the Georgetown Evangelical Church as a trespasser, a number of items and stole a number of items valued at $4,100 EC, the property of the Georgetown Evangelical Church, stolen between October 7th and the 10th. Persons with information that can assist with these investigations are asked to contact the Deputy Commissioner at telephone number 1784-451-2467, the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department at telephone number 1784-456-1810, or any police station or police officer you are comfortable with. All information, the police say, will be treated confidentially.